What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to part 2 of my Hodgkins Lymphoma story. If you're tuning in for the first time, thanks for stopping by. I do have a original intro video, and I also have a part 1 of Hodgkins Lymphoma stage 3. So this is part 2, and for everybody else that's been watching, today we're going to talk about the treatment, which was ABVD. We're going to talk about the medicine that helped me. We're going to talk about when I went back to work, how long did it last until the cancer came back. And then we're going to talk about my alkaline level, what it was for both diagnosis and what it was at the hospital, which is important. And then we're going to talk about the supplements and vitamins that I took. So just to let you know, by no means am I a doctor, advocate of medicine. I'm an advocate of healthy living and cancer awareness. So none of my information is given to you on a level of medical advice. It's just me giving you my thoughts and what I went through and my opinion about it. So let's get started. I think we finished off the last video on identifying the lumps, which are your main lymph nodes right here. And that was making sure that you have this visual here every time you check. Check every couple months. So that's where we finished off. But as we fast forward and get into the doctor's perspective, the medicine is ABVD, which is adriamycin, bleomycin, vinblastine, and decadron. And they do give you a disclosure about bleomycin. It's terrible. It's like a tube, and it's all red. Because of that, I literally stopped drinking like fruit juice and cranberry, anything that like resembled that unit. That had to be directly ported into my port. It couldn't be like in a drip in an IV. Like they came up to me with like the vinblastine, like loaded, like a huge shot, and they just like brought it up to me and they just squeezed the whole thing in. So you're watching this and you're feeling it and you're tasting it. It's a goddamn nightmare. But before you even get ABVD, they talk to you specifically about the bleomycin. They say that it can impact and permanently damage your heart and lungs, and it's irreversible. 10% of people have that issue, so they kind of like disclose that. So my question to the oncologist at that time was, I have asthma, and you know, if it impacts my lungs or my heart's gonna be, you know, like a big thing. So I was just kind of talking out of my ass, thinking like, what is she gonna say? You know, like, does my concern mean anything to her? And she's like, well, if we see that it becomes a problem, we can take you off the medicine, but we have to let you know now before you take it if you're okay with it. And I was like, okay, well, I'm just a patient. What do I know? So if you're watching my video, you know, post chemo, I understand. But if you're like just finding out and you're about to go into the treatment and you're getting ABVD, just remember, you know, my problem was anticipatory nausea, which is hard for me to talk about right now because I get really sick, like instantly. For a lot of you who don't believe in like mind control or like repetition, like programming, I'm not joking when I tell you this, but like when I watch Captain America Civil War and I look at like Bucky and they kind of like reset him, then they say certain words and he's trying to fight not falling into the activation. That's how I feel when I talk about those 4 letters. I mean, it literally irks me right now. But you guys are super stronger than me anyway, so mine was just anticipatory. So, you know, you're there, they tell you to hydrate. You start the medicine, pre-steroids. You take like 7 or 8 pills. There's Pepsid in there, and there's a few other things, and some steroids. 1 pro steroid, a couple of regular steroids, Decadron and all that stuff, and then the drip is the adriamycin, and then the bleomycin is direct, and then the vinblastine is a drip. So you kind of like go through your first session, and this is day 1, and you're kind of there like, I shouldn't be here. You look around, there's like, you know, a fat person, a skinny person, an old person, young person, and you're like, wait a minute. Like, they all look super sick because they've been there. You're there just thinking, I shouldn't be there, and you're like, you have this weird, like, naive attitude right in the beginning. And day 1, you're super pale from the medicine. And it's not a big deal. You just like take the medicine. You kind of feel like, I don't know, like you ate too much salty food. You got that like fried food, salty feeling. You're not like yakking up and throwing up and having all this nausea. So day 1's just kind of like that. So that's how I experienced it. So I did 9 cycles of that. And they gave me all this medicine, you know, Ativan and Compazine and a whole bunch of stuff. Don't take all those medicines, you guys. Just take the one that works. Ativan for me works, but don't take any of the other stuff that they give you. It's bad for you. It's bad for your stomach lining. You're gonna have constipation for days. I went 5 days once and had to call the hospital because the nausea got so bad that I said, how can I have all this nausea if I haven't ate and used the restroom in like 4 days going on day 5? But it's because you're kind of a sheep, and you look at this big medical system and you just take all the medicine. But I'm telling you right now, like, take all the pre-nausea medicine, and then when you feel nauseous again, take 1, write it down, write what time you took it, if you ate before or after. Then the next time you have this situation, take the 2nd medicine, or 3rd or 4th. Don't stackpile them. You can stack the same medicine, you know, which is basic directions, like, oh, in 4 hours or 6 hours, take another pill. But go through those nausea medicines and find the one that works. Don't take shit because they tell you to take shit. Your mind is going to go way past foggy. Your short-term memory is going to be out the door. So Ativan is really good. Good meaning like it does its job. I don't have a lot of constipation and so forth. So toward the end of my cycle, I realized all this medicine sucked and it was bad for me and blah, blah, blah. One of the nurses whispered over, hey, you should take blah, 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 blah. And I was like, how do you spell that? So she wrote it down. It's right there. Akynzeo. 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 So I was like, well, what is this? She's like, it comes from like Ireland or Scotland. It's like a single tablet. You have to pull it out of this tray. It's fairly expensive. I didn't pay because I have Medi-Cal, but the copay on it's expensive. It's 1 pill. And I was like, okay, well, I'll get it today. She's like, no, it doesn't work that way. You need to ask your doctor for it. So when you're getting treatment, you guys, your oncologist is kind of out of the picture. You're working with the nurses and the pharmacy manager. The pharmacy manager will come visit you or talk to you, and you tell them, hi, I want to try this Akynzeo. I've looked online, I've done some research. These medicines aren't working for me and they're not helping for me. Can you please subscribe it? They might try to deter you from it, but just say, I need you to prescribe this for me. So anyways, you guys, you take it like 8 hours before. So say you didn't invest in Amazon and you had a chance to, or you didn't invest in Bitcoin and you had a chance to. That feeling where you're like, why didn't someone like push me to do it? The impact is so huge. I was throwing up so much in my treatments where it was just vile. I had no more liquid left and it was painful. And when I took the Akynzeo, big pill, swallowed it, after X amount of hours, I lost pressure here. I had a lot of buildup pressure here. And basically where they put the patch at, those things don't do shit. Neither do those little wrist. I just was like, man, I feel different. This is like, I feel like a normal person. Go into chemo, kid you not. Sit in there, just getting the medicine, taste the medicine. I'm like, okay. Treatment's over, like 4.5 hours later, my treatment. I'm like, wait, how did I not get up and piss hella times and throw up and throw up? And I went and I told the nurse, I'm like, why didn't you tell me about this? Like, cycle 1, cycle 2, like I'm 9 cycles in. And when I say cycles, that doesn't mean like treatments. 9 cycles means like when you do 2 or 3 cycles like of the treatment, that means you've completed 1 cycle. So she said, well, you had all that different medicine and you never told us which one was good, which one was bad. You just, were throwing up and you were sick. So I was like, let me offer it to you. So this is me telling you, like, Amazon, Bitcoin, like, right? Like, we can go back to the future. So if you're about to go into the treatment, get Akynzeo, please. You'll thank me later. So I finished the treatment and I went home to recover for about 6 months. 6 months of chemo, 6 months of recovery. My doctor approved me to be out for a year. The job only lets you be out for a year. Had to go back to work. Should I have went back to work? No. Did I feel like going back to work? No. Did I feel recovered? No. I only went back to work because I didn't have any money in my savings account. I'm the only income at home. My wife watches all the kids. We have 3 kids. And savings was spent. Credit lines were done. And you just do what you got to do. Like, you got to keep that mortgage paid and the bills paid, and the kids need school supplies, and et cetera, et cetera. So I'm 3 months in. I have some numbness, like nonstop. So the neuropathy, unfortunately, in my case, is permanent. Even in Cancer 1 and Cancer 2, the tip of my fingers, predominantly my feet and ankles and toes, they just go numb all the time. It's really bad when I lay down and I try to sleep because I essentially can't sleep. So I'm back at work and getting used to like coffee and the work schedule and waking up and all that stupid shit. About 6 month range, started itching again. And I'm gonna show you guys. My itching was right here and then right here. And that's where it itched the first time. So I'm like, oh, damn laundry detergent, dryer sheets, my eczema. It's not my eczema, obviously. But at that time, like, you're kind of waking up. You get out of the chemo brain cloud. It takes about 6 to 9 months to get out of the cloud. But you're at work and you're itching and you have this numbness. So you report it to your work. They give you an ergonomic evaluation. You get a better chair. You might get more breaks to stand up and go walk around. This is all approved. Like, your doctor will write this up for you. If your job is not all hung up about breaks and micromanagement bullshit, you can ask for a sit-stand desk. You'll get it, as long as, your job's gonna accompany with all that shit. So the 6 months hit, and I'm itching, and I go in for my normal checkup. This is just an evaluation. They check you here and your groin, and they ask you how you feel. And I said, I don't feel recovered, and I'm still tired, and blah, blah, blah. But I'm itching, doctor, and that was my main symptom the first time. Is it normal I'm still itching? And he's like, are you itching like in different places or the same places? And he's like, or I told him that's the same. So he kind of like flipped a coin, and he's like, well, we normally don't want to put any radio tracer or radiation in you and have those scans, the PET scan, be on you that early. It's only at the 6 month mark. And keep in mind, like 81% of people that pass Hodgkins or non-Hodgkins, B-cell, lumpy, hairy, all those lymphomas, 81% of all of them are in remission. So he's like, we really kind of don't want to do it. And I was like, well, it really feels the same as before. And I go, it's not swollen here, He's like, well, it's not swollen, but you're telling me about it. So at that exact moment, the doctor made a call, and he said, okay, let's get a PET scan. So we did the PET scan, and it came back stage 2 within 6 months. It's considered residual uptake, and it's like one thing if you owe taxes and then the next year you owe again, but you weren't expecting to owe. And it's one thing if you have to like help a friend move, which I hate helping people move. Like there's 3 things I hate, which is like the IRS, helping people move, and listening to Hillary Clinton talk at any given time, like any kind of word. Just want her to instantly stop talking. And I also, I don't care if you voted for her. That's cool, So those three things that I hated, they were the top 3 for a long time. And when you hear that, you have it again, it like comes up to your list. Like, I hate this now. Because I didn't hate that I had cancer. I just thought, oh, I got bad luck and I went through it. I hated being in it, but I didn't hate that I got it. Like, I can't control if I got it or not. So I told the doctor, I said, are we going to start the EBVD again? He goes, no, unfortunately not. You're going to have to submit a referral to Stanford Medical Center, which is in Palo Alto, California. Prestige university and medical field. The best in the world, in my opinion. People around the world try to come there. They're on wait lists. I mean, I've talked to people that are from literally the UK, waited to get to Stanford. I talked to people from Ireland, literally out of the country, not just out of state, and I was like, oh, how long's that gonna take? And what do I do right now? Do I just stay on chemo? And he's like, yeah, you'll stay on chemo through us, but you're not going to go through that full treatment unless, if you don't ever get in with Stanford, you'll do that full treatment. So he said, I'll go ahead and submit the request. Now, I don't know how this happened. I definitely don't feel that if you have Medi-Cal that this should happen. Not to disparage if you're on Medi-Cal or have private insurance. I think we're all the same. It's just our financial situations and our jobs dictate what coverages we have. But basically, you have to wait for the acceptance. So think about how many people are waiting to see Stanford within the United States, within California, within out of the country. And within 2.5 weeks, I got approved to go to Stanford. So it would require a bone marrow transplant. It's not the standard regimen of treatment because your cells become naive to the ABVD. So if it couldn't cure it then, it's not going to cure it again. And I'm going to make a video about the bone marrow transplant, possibly as a part 3. But you can definitely look it up. You do need a family member to donate their stem cells. And if you don't have a family member that can do it, you can do autologous, which I'll talk about now. And this is you getting treatment to get to remission, temporary remission. So in my case, I will have Kaiser get me to a clear scan, meaning think of it as soap scum on your bathtub. You can get it off right then and there, but essentially after a few showers, it comes back. Think of that as relapsed cancer patient. So in order to fix it, we have to fix the tub where it's originating on. So the tub is within you, okay? So you have to be in remission, clean, to be able to go do a BMT, bone marrow transplant. When you're in remission, they'll take out your stem cells that are super clean. They preserve them. You go through Stanford's chemo treatment, which is not ABVD or Kaiser's plan. Kaiser has sent you off to Stanford at this point. You barely talk to your normal doctor at Kaiser or your private insurance doctor. You're just working with Stanford. They literally transfer your coverage to them. So my Medi-Cal got transferred to Stanford. If you have United Pacific Care, Anthem, Blue Shield, whatever, they will submit a request to have it transferred. So when that happens, they charge your insurance, your prescriptions go through them and all that stuff. So your cells are sitting in a fridge or freezer. I think they're in a freezer. And then you go through their treatment. Now, it's obviously not 9 cycles, but with Stanford, it was like a couple months, like a month and a half of like just their chemo. And you're not on the normal schedule that you're used to. Sorry, I just hate thinking about this because I just like remember how it feels. So they blast you again with their treatment for any leftover cells that could be lingering in your actual bone marrow. So when you finish their regimen, they reinsert your cells back into your body. Now, your white blood cell count is literally at 0 when they do this. So you can't have visitors. I mean, obviously COVID changed everything, but I had the BMT done in March of 2019, which was like the brink of Corona being like popular. So You did your previous treatment. Then you get this like little layover. Then they take out your cells. Then you go through Stanford's treatment. They blast you down to 0. Everything, immunity, ANCE, white blood cell. I had to have, probably in the month and a half of the full treatment before the transplant, I probably had 8 or 9 transfusions for red blood cells and so forth. But they reinsert them, and it tastes like spaghetti factory garlic and shit. It's kind of stupid. I just find this weird connection with like vampires and garlic, and then the way they treat you with cancer, like taking your blood, giving you blood, and it tastes like garlic. So I know it's a coincidence, but it's super satanic if you ask me. So anyways, the day of your transplant is considered your birth date because you have a new installation date of these stem cells that will eventually produce new cells. So they've wiped out all your bad cells, including good cells. And then they keep you there for about 2.5 weeks to 3 weeks. Your numbers have to come up. And you essentially have to graft. Once you're grafted, they'll talk to you about going home in X amount of days, but they go through this huge checklist before they even let you go. Okay, so I'm done talking about the BMT. The next thing I want to talk about is my alkaline level. So I want to tell you guys that treatment 1, or cancer number 1, I got down to 36. Treatment number 2 for cancer, I was at 32. So I want to let you guys look at something. So this is the alkaline chart. 32 being the lowest and 117 being the highest. So just think about this. How many people right now don't even know or feel that they're in the low 30s on their alkaline levels? Right now, you guys, listen to me. Even if you're watching this because you're supporting someone else or you want to get information and so forth, even you, go to your doctor through email, of course, and ask them for an alkaline test. And you go draw some blood. In a few hours, it'll come back on your health app and you'll have a number. It'll be between 30, hopefully higher. You can't be lower. You're going to be fucked if you are. Hopefully it's between 30 and 100. Where you want to be is at least, okay, I mean, bare minimum 50 and higher. So I'll repeat that. The first time I got diagnosed, I was at 36. And the second time I was 32. This is the alkaline chart by the World Health Organization, the FDA, and etc., wherever you can pull it from. 32 is the lowest possible range. That's not even a healthy range, you guys. So I learned nothing from cancer number 1 on that. My lymphatic system had gone down because I got the H1N1 in 2010, and it took 7 to 8 years to develop the cancer. And again, if you're reading about lymphoma and Hodgkins lymphoma and non-Hodgkins, it's a slow cancer. So when I went to get treatment, and then 6 months later, I relapsed again. In the year that I was getting treatment for the first 6 months and then recovering for the first 6 months, that's 1 year. But it's only half a year of no chemo. And then I had another half year of just being a normal person. So you take the previous recovering 6 months and then going to work plus 6 months is a year. In that year, I didn't change anything. I kept eating hamburgers and bacon and tri-tip and fast food and Costco and Wiener Schnitzel and Jack in the Box. I lived off that kind of food, not every day, but all the time. And all that food is acidic. And acidic food is so bad that it's going to lower your level to the 30s. You're on your way to the 30s if you eat the shit that I just talked about. Green vegetables, cucumbers, onions, cilantro, bell pepper, broccoli, kale, spinach, they're all alkaline. And if you don't want to eat vegetables, blend them. Make a green shake. If you don't want to make a green shake, take your ass down to Jamba Juice and get a greens and ginger. Spend $7, whatever. You get tired of the $7 and you're going to start making it. If you don't want to drink shakes, then buy sea moss. Sea moss has like 89 or 90 minerals of the 102 minerals that your entire body needs. Okay? I'm not kidding. It's 100% like, it's like life in a capsule. So at the hospital, what I want you guys to know is I didn't eat a lot and their food was shitty. But I did eat some stuff like the 100% grape juice ice cream bar. Your taste buds are shot. Everything tastes gross. Water tastes gross. Blah, blah, blah. My alkaline was between 80 and 98 at the hospital. How can I be at 80 to 98 without a normal diet? And I'll tell you why. I had sodium chloride, which is balanced salt for your body. It's about 6% of your body is made up of salt. They were giving me potassium and they were giving me electrolytes. Those three things are super alkaline. So if you buy supplements of electrolytes and potassium, and then you have, let's say, lime water all the time, you're going to be fine. Your numbers are going to be good. So here I am thinking I'm alive, I'm happy, I'm buying what I want, eating what I want, and I'm in the low 30s, and I'm going to get cancer again. Don't even know that, but that's what's happening. So your alkaline level, you guys, dictates what's going to happen to you in development of cancer. Now, yes, we all know somebody that sits outside your job, they're smoking cigarettes, they got a beard, or they got a gut, or they look out of shape, or they just, they're that person. They smoke all the time, they eat like shit, but they've never had any problems. Some genetics are involved. But like I said, there was an 18-year-old with me with the same cancer as me. 18. Old people, young people, it doesn't matter. It's based on your alkaline level. It's not. Hodgkins lymphoma is not a genetic cancer, you guys, or non-Hodgkins. It's not a genetic cancer. It's a developmental cancer, meaning stuff will happen to you and you will develop it. So, going into the first treatment, this is a pre-BMT, the stuff I just talked about earlier. I was taking soursop, which is a supplement, and apricot seeds. Soursop is that big green plant that's spiky. It's not the durian or whatever, the one that smells like monkey asshole. It's a green fruit drink. You can even buy them at the Asian stores, and it's like the soursop juice. They're really high in sugar though, and they're only like 25%. But anyways, so you can buy on Amazon or eBay soursop supplements. They're like 1,000 milligrams, and you can buy apricot supplements. So I heard about this 19-year-old kid who had stage 4 Hodgkins lymphoma, and he just graduated, and his mom didn't want him to have chemotherapy. He was still seen by a doctor, but they decided not to do the regimen. He started taking 16,000 milligrams a day of soursop and apricot seeds combined. I thought that was fucking insane. So my wife did some research, found out that other people are doing it. So I took 12,000 before my treatment. I took the apricot seed. Those are 1,000. You can buy them in 1,300. The soursop you can get in 2,000 now. So I took my, 4 to 8 12s. My math's not good right now, but I took a total of 12,000. If you take 12,000 right now, it's like drinking 3 Red Bulls. If you take 4,000, you're going to be awake. You're not going to sleep that night. You're going to want to clean. You're going to want to LSD, PCP, whatever gets you going. And it's crazy how much energy you get and how vital it is to you. But when you're on chemotherapy and you're drained out, 12,000 milligrams is just like you taking 2,000 or 3,000. So enough to just get you up and awake. Well, when you're fucked on chemo, that 12,000 gets you out of that stage onto another level. Think about it. I was 38 at the time. I'm 40 now. A 19-year-old was doing 16,000. Why the fuck can I not do 12,000? So I did that every day. And after the first cycle, which is 3 rounds of the medicine, poison really, they did my PET scan. And this is how much cancer was visible. You guys see that? That's how much. So the doctor says, I haven't seen anybody go from stage 3 to 0 in one cycle ever. I don't know what you're doing, but your body has responded to it really good. So I know what's the cause of it. It's the supplements. Now, I didn't want to tell her because before I even started the treatment, I asked her, what do you recommend my diet to be? Do you have any supplements I could take? And she blew me off. She didn't give a shit. She's regulated by the Board of Health, and they're not allowed to tell you what to take or what to use to help you. They say the same bullshit. Try to have a healthy diet, stay away from fast foods and processed foods. But I asked her 3 times. Now, if I asked you 3 times, your second and third answer might be a little bit more honest than your first answer. But if I ask you the same shit 3 times on 3 different appointments, you're going to eventually give me what I want to hear, or you're going to give me the same answer. This doctor gave me the same answer. So when we fast forward to my scan being completely clear, and her saying, I don't know what you're doing. Of course, bitch, you don't know what I'm doing because you didn't want to help me. So if you want to message me, I'll give you my phone number or my email, and I'll show you some photos of the supplements that I'm taking. And keep in mind, guys, I'm not going to say A, B, and C supplement can CUREXYZ. Because of the rules and the guidelines of social media, censorship, FDA, and all that bullshit. But what I can tell you is, I asked if I can stop my treatment for the rest of the 8 cycles, and they said no. Now, why do you think they said no? Ask yourself. Because they're billing your insurance hundreds of thousands of dollars to give you registered legal poison so that they can hold the title of oncologist. They're never going to go to their superiors or the board and say, hey, excuse me, we got this guy named Fadi who just had 1 cycle and he's clear. Can we just gift wrap him and send him on his way? I mean, they will literally ask her if she's on drugs and ask her if she's okay. Does she even know what she's saying? Do you know what I mean? So I got sicker and sicker, you guys. And here's why. As I went to cycle 2 and 3 and 4 and 5, I had no cancer in my body, and yet I was taking medicine for cancer. These supplements blasted all that cancer out in one cycle. The Asian guy from Hangover, his wife had breast cancer, and she miraculously blew her scan in one cycle. She did it, came out blank. Were they taking supplements? Who knows? I've talked to a few people with breast cancer. They're on it for at least 6 to 9 months. She did it in one cycle. He's a doctor, by the way. So was she. So I think they know what's up. You know, they're not like, we're taking 0 supplements or 0 whatever, 0 vitamins. No, they know what they're doing. So basically, fast forward back to the bone marrow transplant. I kept my diet the same, you guys, and I got my alkaline down to 32 again. And what do you think happened? It relapsed. So I learned nothing from the first time because I just thought I was unfortunate and I got the cancer because sometimes you just get cancer. I didn't change a single thing. So now I cut out red meat, cut out bacon, cut out soda, cut out a lot of sweets. Not every sweet, but a lot of sweets. I eat fish. I eat all seafoods. The exception of meat for me is chicken. I don't consider seafood meat because we live on a playing field of land. You got all these animals on land, and they could be controlled and manipulated and killed and slaughtered and packaged and sold. You don't know what the animals are eating. Your label might tell you if it's a free range or whatever, but it's a controlled system. That is red meat, white meat, you know, pig, lamb, goat, cow, whatever. Ocean is not regulated. I'm not talking about rules and shit. I'm talking about food. So anything that comes from the ocean, I'm not carding the BPA and mercury shit. I'm not dismissing that at all. But that's just the ocean. I don't consider that meat. I consider it food. So my exception to meat is chicken every now and then. I don't have it all the time. I don't have sugar anymore. I have that liquid from Costco, the agave syrup, the 2-pack. No dairy, 0 dairy, guys. Almond milk. I don't have cheese. I don't have sour cream. Dude, you can go get a fat chicken burrito from any Mexican place and just say no sour cream and cheese. Your life's not going to be over, okay? Do I have cheat days? I do. What does a cheat day include? It's not red meat. It's just milk or dairy or cheese. And then that's just, it ends up being like a pizza or ice cream. Okay, those are my cheat days. My alkaline now, it's in the mid to high 50s. That's with taking normal supplements, guys, not thousands and thousands. Like I take 2 potassiums, 1 electrolyte, 1 multivitamin, some D3, iron, magnesium. That's it. I don't do the soursop and apricot because that shit will get you going. I mean, I have a huge amount of bottles left, like a lot. I mean, enough for like 2 or 3 years right now. Apricot and soursop. So, that's basically it, guys. I was taken out of work January 1st, 2020, and now we're at 2021. So I've been under Stanford's hands. I've been through the Corona era, worst time to have cancer during Corona. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you had any family or friends at Stanford and what you thought. Let me know if any of my information helped you out. Let me know if you just have questions, you know. I'm an open book. I talk to you guys about whatever you want. Any medical questions, financial questions, what I make. I'm not you know, ashamed of certain things anymore. You know, and if you want to talk about like low down stuff I can't unfortunately put on the YouTube because it's owned by Google and all that bullshit, let me know. I'll message you. Be more than happy to. But please do yourself 2 things. Boys and girls, every couple of months, lift up your shoulders and bring them forward. As long as you can see this, your lymph nodes are in good standing. It doesn't mean that these are good. And it doesn't mean that on your groin are good. But in most situations, people who are developing cancer from a lymphoma perspective do not have swollen armpits or lumps and or in the groin. Majority of the time it's here. Okay, so this is the visual pop-up. The indicators are going to be your symptoms: fatigue, loss of appetite, night sweats, migraines, and then as you get toward the bottom, severe itching, which was my situation both times. Those are the indicators that there's something wrong with you. These are the signs that it's too late, okay? And I don't want to scare anybody, but as I said in part 1, whether you have symptoms or not, if one or both of these are puffy and it's been over 2 months, you either have a viral infection that you're fighting and your white blood cell count is down and your ANC is down, period. You have an infection in your lymph nodes, or you have cancer. I know, like, it's not what you want to hear. If, you know, you just now discovered this, or you have a bump wherever, and you haven't gotten to the doctors, and you're just like, let me just go online and search it and blah, blah, blah. Those are only 2 things. So you guys stay safe. Check yourself every couple months. Most importantly, I do blood tests every 2 weeks. Whatever the doctor wants, but I also ask for alkaline. It's in my list now. So I check my alkaline twice a month. It's kind of excessive, but whatever. I have to be at 50 or higher. I had my first scan, you guys, in January. And my scan was clean. If you want to check it out, look at my Instagram, which is Fadi Set Go. That's Fadi. It's just like my YouTube name. You know, so with my new changes to my diet, normal vitamins, and my alkaline being over 50, and my scans clear, I can't say as a person in a medical perspective that that's the formula, guys. You know, eat like this, and if your alkalines are like this, this is the end result. It's not what it is. But for me, I'm just happy that it's clear. I haven't had a clear scan in 2 years. Okay, so it was a big deal, and I wanted to share it with you guys. So please, I'm trying to get 100 subscribers this year. Not from a volume count or following count. It's so that 100 people can at least hear my situation. And if it helps you or helps someone else, as it did for me when I didn't know what I was doing and YouTube helped me, you guys are YouTube, okay? So thank you very much. God bless. Make sure you like and subscribe, and take care.